HarperCollins presents Daughters of Cornwall by Fern Britton. Read by Fern Britton. Here's to us was like us. Damn few, and they're a deed. That's a toast adopted by Scottish regiments everywhere, and drunk to the memory of the 1st Battalion Scottish Regiment, who in late 1914 prepared peacefully for summer camp, and yet who, by 1918, were mostly dead. This is in memory of my great-uncle, 2nd Lieutenant Herbert Edward Hawkins, of 1st 14th Battalion of the London Scottish London Regiment, 1887 to 1917. Prologue. Caroline, Calizion, Cornwall, present day. It is said that the failings of a family bloodline repeat themselves through the generations until eventually someone, possibly centuries later, breaks the mould. Whether they break that mould with a newly acquired error of personality, or by bringing in a fresh bloodline with its own chaotic genetic makeup, it's hard to tell. Whatever, I am certain your family will be no different to mine. A long line of women who have toughened themselves on the anvil of life, all with broken marriages, broken hearts, and long-held secrets. The story I'm about to tell you is the one I have observed from my birth, tales I have picked up as any child does, sitting quietly and forgotten, eavesdropping as the adults reveal their shocking truths. They dropped their pebbles in the pond, and the ripples spread outward through their lives and into my own, where they lap still. Everything I have worked hard for. Everything. I bear no grudge. I'm not a materialistic woman. I'm a widow, living within my means, watching my beautiful daughter take the leap from adolescence to adulthood, carving her own path. She will find a suitable boy, settle down, and be a wonderful wife and mother, as I was, as my mother almost was, as her mother, Clara, certainly wasn't. Glamorous, strong, and passionate, she lived her life by one rule. To be a liar, you have to have a very good memory. And she should know. I didn't know any of this until very recently, and I must say it's rather disturbed my equilibrium. I like to think of myself as a woman who does not wear her emotions on her sleeve. I mean, losing my mother was dreadful, of course, as was my husband's illness and death. I was proud of my outward stoicism, my resilience in the spotlight of grief. That was until I overheard one of the church ladies talking about me behind my back. I heard them in the choir stalls discussing my lack of emotion, my cold-bloodedness. And then something I would prefer not to think about, it being so crude and unpleasant. All I will say is that their unkind laughter followed me for days afterwards. I miss my husband dreadfully, his kindness, his affection, his success. He climbed the ladder of the corporate world and gave me the secure world I craved. Darling Tom. He knew how hard my fatherless upbringing was, and how hard I have striven to lead a normal life after the rackety one my mother brought me into. All that has paled into insignificance now, for I have discovered another family skeleton. My mother was not the only one to have her secrets, to get pregnant out of wedlock. Everything I thought I knew is a lie. It arrived on my doorstep just a few days ago, a huge steamer trunk made in the days when people travelled the world by ship rather than hopped on an aircraft. The courier thrust his docket at me to sign. "This has travelled a long way to find you," he said, as if personally affronted. "All the way from Malaysia, via Singapore and Kent by the looks of things, and it's bloody heavy. Are you sure you have the right address? You are Caroline Belitho?" "Yes. Well, I was. That's my maiden name." "Then yes, this is the right address. I went to the vicarage just up the road in Calizion first, but the woman there said the only Belitho she knew was you, and she gave me this address." He handed me the docket. "Sign and print, please, and I hope you don't find a body in there." He laughed until I gave him the look, the one my husband and daughter feared. I signed the piece of paper and opened the door wider for him to carry it into the hall for me. "Oh, sorry, love, my job's to deliver to the door. That's as far as I'm allowed to go. Cheers! Oh, hang on." He patted the top pocket of his shirt. "Here, you'll need this. It's the key." He handed me a small brown envelope and left me with the mysterious cargo.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?